Welcome back to Technically Speaking. We put the questions about cloud computing out to some of our viewers. Let's see what they had to ask us. Here's a question now. I've heard of cloud computing, but what exactly is it? Well, I hope after this episode that's not a question anymore. Cloud computing is being able to store or use applications or programs in the cloud or the internet. So file storage or programs that you're doing that aren't existing on your own computer, but that you're using on the internet. Here's another question. It all sounds great to be able to store everything away from my own computer in case my computer crashes or just to be a better utilization of space. But is it really safe? Are all of my files going to be safe on somebody else's computer instead of my own? Well, that's a great question, and we're always concerned about safety and security of all of our things. For example, if you had things you wanted to put in a safe deposit box, perhaps jewelry or money, that you didn't want to leave in your house, you'd make sure that the bank you chose was well protected and had a good reputation. You wouldn't want to choose a bank that looked like anyone who could break into it on any day. The same thing goes for cloud computing. If you're choosing a company that's going to be storing your files, your documents, pictures, etc., you'll want to choose a company that's been around for a while and has a good reputation. The fact is, cloud computing companies that are dealing with storage, all they have is their reputation. So the safety and security of your files is of the utmost importance to them. If they started losing people's files, they'd lose their entire business. So if you're choosing a company, such as Amazon, that has $1 billion business, I don't think you need to be too worried about your grocery lists and family photos. So choose wisely, as you would with a safe deposit box, and you'll be fine. Here's another question. Cloud computing all sounds terrific, but what about if I'm not logged onto the internet? Can I use all of these great programs? Will I still be able to access all of my files? Great question. And the answer is yes and no. As for using the programs, especially some of the programs we spoke about, such as Google Docs or Picnic for photo editing, the answer is no. You really won't be able to utilize other programs if you're not actively on the internet. However, the fact is, most of us are on the internet more and more each day. Whether you're at home or at work, even out on the street, our entire neighborhoods are being flooded with access to the internet because so many of us are carrying around gadgets and tablets and computers. So the internet companies are making sure that Wi-Fi or internet connectivity is spread around. Now, those files, however, are always available. For example, let's look here at Dropbox. I spoke about Dropbox being a wonderful place to store files. And here's my Dropbox, filled with different files and folders. One thing you'll notice, by the way, if you're looking at this, is some of my files have just a folder next to them, and some of them have a picture of somebody next to that folder. On Dropbox, those are known as shared folders, meaning this one that says Italian Community is a shared folder. There are other people who are sharing that folder with me. If I put something in the folder, they can also see that same document. I don't have to email it to them. But the question was, will I be able to access these files even when I'm not on the internet? And the answer is yes. When it comes to Dropbox, every time I log on to the internet, all of my files are instantly updated. So that if I were working on something at a different computer, all of my files would come to the nearest solution. But if you see up here, I have a little Dropbox folder. This is not on the internet. This is just on my computer. And all of those files are there also. They're instantly updated every time I have Wi-Fi access or I'm near a network. But if I'm not, I can still access all of these folders. The same thing goes for Google Docs. Here's all of my Google Docs folders, accessible wherever I am to the latest version. Well, I hope that you got the bug for some cloud computing and all the great ways it can save us time and save us money. So please visit technicallyspeakingtv.com for links to all of these great cloud computing sites and some tips on how you can get started in cloud computing.